How about now? There it goes. My mic decided it did not want to be picked up at all during that, but I think we have it now. Okay, sorry about that. I want to start over. I was not using the right mic. My dog is also begging. Hi, what you doing? Okay, so we're going to be working on, or I'm going to be working on AI taking towns actually, and the AI getting orders. So on the finite state machine system, we have this loop here that gets ran for AI attacking towns. So we spawn the groups in that we want. We have the groups retreating when they get below a certain threshold of combat effectiveness. And then now we have the infantry orders that we want to execute to tell them where and what to go capture. And we're working on this function called assign targets. So I did this a little bit off stream over the past week and 2 weeks. So I got some done, but not much here over the past little bit. So this function works is that the way to capture towns in Dissension is there's going to be a bunch of buildings that are going to need to be cleared. So before, you just have to kill X amount of AI in the world, and then you would capture the town. Well, to capture towns, you can't just stand outside and starve them out. I mean, you can. That will definitely lower their effectiveness, but you got to get in there and actually clear things. That's how we're going to do it here. So what we need to do is make it so the AI can go roughly to the rough area and clear sections of a town out at a time. And instead of doing like little grids like this, it's going to be structures, like the physical structures themselves. And the AI are going to go to these buildings, and I think I'm going to try to make them attempt to go inside the buildings and leave the building. We're going to see. What I'm going to do, if they get close enough and there's no AI in there, they move on. So what we're going to do, it's going to have kind of a complex tree of behaviors built in, but we're going to see how that goes. So this is what this function pops in. So it gives us the town, the enemy town we're attacking, the groups, the assaulting groups that we have, the barracks position, so where they spawn, the enemy held structures and the friendly held structures, and a core navigation array, so they can learn how to attack the side that is attacking and the enemy side. Okay. So what we have so far is we define the array for structures. We want to get just the enemy structures, because the array that this returns is like this, has a building marker and the actual physical structure itself. And so we want to change that up. Let's see. Okay, then we get the friendly structures here. And then now we'll make sure every squad has a current attack order. I want to try to use just waypoints for this. And so I'm not quite sure. So right now we current the waypoint in the current waypoint position, and we're doing a check if the leader is close to that waypoint position, they're going to pull the nearest, yeah, it's going to create a new waypoint position for them to go to. And it's going to, yeah, so it's going to do a check to see if they've captured the area, the structure. So what we do is we find the nearest navigation array. So the way this works is, you know, if they spawn here, they don't just go straight in. They might go over here or target a house that's over here first. So they kind of work outward in. So they're always working outward in. What this prevents is, say, I'm going to use markers for this. So say these are all buildings that need to be captured here or secured. And if you have an AI squad, which we'll use as this, you know, player character here, go in. And if they clear this circle out, and they're here, they might decide to go clear this circle out, and then maybe they end up on this side of the building and clear this out. And then you get to a situation where they're now surrounded. That's just a bad move in general, and not really smart for the AI. So what they do is with this new change, is they're going to clear this circle out, and they're going to see what's the closest from out here, instead of from them, but from out here. And then they're going to clear this out, and then they should clear this out. And then they might, you know, go clear this out here, and then maybe they'll may go here, then they'll go here. You see, this is going to be much more of a linear progression from clearing, instead of just going from nearest building to nearest building. So it'll look a lot more tactical for them. So, let's see. So that's going to be the goal. And I figure I'll probably talk about Reforger a little bit during this stream as questions come up. We'll see. I don't want to start a rant about Reforger right now or even talk about it. The High Tower says, can I use an AI mod with this, or is it standalone? There will be an AI mod already embedded within it. It's going to have VCOM AI. The updated VCOM AI in it once it comes out, and you can throw another AI mods in there, but you know, at that point you can't guarantee the impact it has on everything. So that's a good question. Okay, so far we find the nearest array. We're going to remove it from the array. Okay. So I'm just double checking this. Nearest navigation area, we pull from the core navigation area. Yep, okay. Nearest enemy structure. And then we do a check for if all units select sides, side, an array. So we do like a 20-meter check. Okay. If there's less than one one. So if there are no enemy units, then we can consider the building captured. I think I just want to rely on waypoints for this. I don't want to like do set variables any of that right now. I just want to see if I can, just wherever the AI go, it just checks around them, the structures. And so we need to code this here. Code capture buildings. And this is going to be a call, I think. Yeah. This is going to return some variables for sure. I think I have an idea. Okay. So we have enemy hull structures and friendly hull structures, so that's fine. Yeah, this should be just fine. Alright, so now we just like to code in the captured structures, yeah. Some of the mods for my favorite games are being developed for years. As one short clip published, once in 2 years proving that work is being done. Cool to see part of your mod development openly. Yeah, yeah, I know. This would be done already if I had more time. And honestly, I've been playing a lot of games too. 'Cause sometimes I just work a lot and don't want to go to ArmA, so I'll admit. Hey, Tyler. Yeah, I enjoy coding for ArmA, and ArmA 4 is still minimum of 2 years out. And even if it comes out in a year and a half or 2 years, I still don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very similar to ArmA 3, where it's going to need another year in the oven before it's really ready. I remember trying to develop games and mods for ArmA 3 when it first came out, and it was a nightmare. To develop things for ArmA for about a year when it came out, a year to two. It was, and I would argue that ArmA was pretty crap until Apex came out in a lot of ways. Until their DLCs really started ramping up and all the love they put into it. A lot of people don't remember that I had a big. I removed it now since it's not applicable anymore, but I had a negative review on ArmA for years, and I didn't play ArmA, do much for ArmA for years. I think about 1 to 2 years, you know, very little here and there because I just was not really happy with it from ArmA 2. And then they kept showing it love and updating it, and then it got better, and they fixed the issues and broke some other things, but mostly it's fixed. So the engine itself changed a lot. Yeah, a lot of people don't remember. Do you guys remember when ArmA 3 used to be 32-bit only? A lot of people forget about that. It used to be only 32-bit, now it's 64. Alright, anyway. No enemy units, then we can consider the building captured. Okay, so we gotta do this. I'm thinking we're going to... The nearest enemy structure is this one, so first thing is that we have to find the index of the building. So we need to find, we have the enemy structure, we need to find where it is inside the enemy held structures array. So we can do that with a structure index. We can do a find if statement. So that takes this big array, which again uses this. So the building is select 1. So if x select 1 is equal to the nearest enemy structure, then we know we have the proper index. Here we have it. What's going on, Tyler? At some point, ... Take about remembering about 64-bit. Yeah. I forget that. It makes me feel old. The ArmA 3, I think, came out in like 2013 or something, right? Oh, man. That kind of hurts a little bit. Okay. I'm just double checking something over here. Their comment got removed. Why did he get removed? Did you like have a link or something? What? I've never heard of that before. I thinking about yeah. ArmA 3 got a visual overhaul too. Let me see if I can find. A lot of people forget about the amount of love ArmA 3 got. They needed it. Don't get me wrong. Let me see if I can find images of it really quick. And I'm getting, this is kind of nostalgia. I don't know if this is the best picture for it, but let me get it. So here is, they have a bunch. Yeah, here's from their official dev page. We're gonna go down a trip down memory lane. A lot of these is kind of hard to tell the difference, but here's a good example of one. So here is before the visual update and after the visual update. ArmA 3, it's on the left, it looked a lot more bland. And the clouds didn't look as good. You can tell by the textures in the distance, it's a lot more toned down. I mean, look at the comparison of the color of the grass and the vegetation. Look how brown the game was. Just the color rework. And then there's actually more clarity in the combat. Let's look at the water. Here's like a beach scene. and the water didn't, it looked really kind of this fake kind of foam. The lighting effects weren't as great. Look at the stark contrast on this light on the left here, and then the light on the right is a lot more. It's a lot brighter, but you can see the distance. It's not like a huge difference. It's not like a huge like wow, 60, you know, from Nintendo 64 to next gen. But it definitely, I think this shows the best for me at least. This is what water used to look like. It almost looked like there wasn't water. I remember that, and then now at least it looks like there was, you know, water. You couldn't just see. This is if you put your head underwater, like how bad it looked before. Now it actually, you know, has some effects. Here's another update. You know, things actually look not as they look more, I don't say real, but it looks different. And this is, yeah, this looks so much better. This is one of the best pictures if you have your graphics up. Yeah, anyway, they put a lot of work into that. Long story short, Ivan, one of the devs, confirmed they also want Eden Editor and Infusion. They said they need to do more tuning to the game master before they start Eden Editor, because if you remember, ArmA 3 Zeus came first, then the Eden Editor. Yeah, I would agree. Well, I think that's I don't want to get into like a Reforger thing, but yeah, that's why I think Reforger is really just ArmA 4 Alpha Alpha Alpha. It's very cool to see. Hey, Carther. It's very cool to see, but it is, for me, starting to like, I cannot tell you how many messages I've had about people asking me to start coding for Reforger right now, and I'm like, it's not ready. It would be such a pain in the ass right now to try to make a mod. Besides porting models over, porting models, fine. Getting weapon mods, sure, whatever. But like doing intense coding work, trying to code AI, trying to code these really advanced missions, it's not worth it yet. Oh, the link was the source. Oh, that's why your comment got deleted. Oh, I wish I could turn that off. Alright. It's not like I have a problem with bots on my streams. Alright, anyway, so I get sidetracked. I figured I was going to talk a lot about Reforger today, and I'm excited to see the engine changes. But I'm not very excited about Reforger itself, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm excited for ArmA 4, but not excited for Reforger. I looked at the behavior editor. Let me see if I can, I'm gonna pull up a picture that I got, hold on. Oh, I see that the message you sent me. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be left for ArmA 4. So let me open up this picture here. So, wow, why is it so zoomed in? Okay, yeah. Here's like the behavior editor I was looking at. That's true, Victor. It's funny, yeah. The behavior editor they have it's cool. I mean, this is all an engine. I mean, this is very similar to this. It just looks different. And this is more updated. This is still a finite state machine system that they have. Actually, this is even finite state machine. This is just logic-oriented programming, which most programming languages use this now, which is essentially an FSM editor like this put into this. So I'm glad they're doing that, because this makes coding behavior trees so much easier. And this is how a lot of the game, at least from what I've seen, is going to be made. If you're making missions, it's not going to be just staring at a notepad file like this all the time. This will still be a big part of it, okay? But it's going to be a lot more like this, which I appreciate. So this will be really nice. The biggest issue is still that this does not have... You can change most of the code. I haven't played with it enough. I have not played with it enough yet to, nor am I really interested in, because the documentation is very, very minimal right now. And I think that's because the engine is still very much work in progress. Like, here's kind of an example that I want to give people. So here's ArmA 3. Here is a list of all the functions I can use that are predefined in ArmA 3. These are functions that Bohemia made that you can use. There's going to be similar things, just different in ArmA 4. And then here's all the functions that are pre-built that you can use. Every engine you use, be it C# or whatever, always have these built-in functions and commands that you can use. You obviously make your own, but you want to have those all well documented. Look how well documented this is. Every single command that I want is, I use this, I rely on this. And so going into Reforger right now and trying to like figure out how to make the AI do certain things is just, until the documentation gets better, and I'm not touching that. Like, let's take a look at, someone sent me a link, but let me see if I can even look it up. Because it's going to tie into, you know, different C. I know C# and C++ and Python, and that's not a problem. But I don't want to, let's see if I can find the code. I can't even Google it, actually. Let me see if I can find it. They have, okay, so here are some of the tutorials they have for Reforger. So, okay, so here's a scripting tutorial. And using force script as their new, you know, thing they're using. So this is good stuff to read. You know, like, this is, I mean, essentially this is more like C#. This is, I mean, exactly like C#, right? So, you know, this is what you define it. Yeah, it pretty much talks about the differences. They're very similar. And this is actually cool that they did this, but then, okay, so where, let's see if they have an example in here. Yeah, here's a great example. So they have, like, pushback is a command we have, but, you know, C# uses insert. It uses a lot of these different commands. So there's a lot of C# commands that are going to work, but, like, what about, how do I get that inventory of an AI? Yeah, yeah. You're right. Corrupted Opinion says, I think part of it is that their library is lacking. The AI in game can't even drive yet, which leads me to believe there isn't much documentation yet. And that's why I think it's not done yet. So, like, this stuff here is no problem, like using these commands. This will take time for me to learn all this stuff. I mean, this is pretty basic with using inserts, using hash maps, all that crap is already built in, which is great. But I want to know, like, okay, what is the best way to get the inventory of an AI? What's the best way to tell them to put a mine down? What's the best way to tell them to drive somewhere? And that's not done yet in the engine. So there's really no point for me to, besides learning and messing around with, there's really no point to me to try to make something serious, because there's a lot of stuff that's probably just even missing engine side. You know, I'm glad that you have the C#. I think a lot of people don't. You know, I'm not you know, I'm not a coder. It's not something it's not my job, right? So as a more mere casual, you know, you have the way I view it is you have the engine, which is the foundation of any game, and this supports the game. This is what makes the game a good game. But then on top of that, for a good game, you need to really build. That's where you build the house. And it needs to be a good house. It needs to be a really pretty house with all cool sorts of windows and features and knobs and things that interact with. And then, of course, it's going to be important for Bohemia for us to allow us to dig in a little bit to that foundation to change some of it. But it's more important for us to be able to really just change this whole fucking house however we want. And that's what needs to happen. But right now, the house isn't even done being built. So I don't want to build the house for them. I want them to build the house for me, and then I come in and change the house, because I don't have time to make a house. Right? My hope is, Tyler, that when ArmA 4 comes out, that's when I'm going to more seriously look at the AI, because then there's going to be more of a structure there. Looking at behavior trees once again reminded me that I again forgot how hierarchical task networks work and what they are. It's probably very simple, but never explained in not a roundabout language. Yeah, it's very simple. I actually really enjoy finite state machines. The only way I know how to call them are finite state machine systems, hierarchical task networks, which is kind of like this. Visually, they're more for humans, right? They're not really for a computer. They're more for humans to interact with. So they just make it simple on purpose. Yeah, Tyler says, oh my god, AI driving, let's see how bad they're going to be. Yeah, they're going to be. I hope they're better than ArmA 3, man. That's all I ask for. I don't need AI to be godlike. I just need them to... If I can get a good base AI to work with in ArmA 4, then I will be more than happy to mod them to doing more, you know, I don't expect them to do artillery calling. I don't expect them to flank well. I don't need any of that, but just give me some good basic AI control. As long as you make it, I can tell the AI where to focus and where to shoot and what they can see, then that's good. I need a good base to start with. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna continue this. Okay, so we find the structure, so we need to add this. We need to take it away from the enemy held structures. And we need to be careful with using delete at. I love the delete at command. So there's a command called delete at, which is super efficient, super fast, but it really does some really weird modifying of arrays even outside of their scope. It's really powerful, almost too powerful, so I try to stay away from it lately because I've had so many weird issues pop up because of it. So I'm just going to stay away from using delete at and just use a good old minus because that scares me. So we're going to find, so we have the structure index, we're going to get the actual index, called the actual index data. Let's just do index data. And then we're going to take enemy held structures, select structure index, and then I'm going to look see if I can shorten this up later, but we'll see. And then we're going to take enemy held structures equals enemy held structures minus this array. And then we are going to take friendly held structures. And then we're going to the equals friendly held structure. Oh, friendly held structures pushback index data. Yeah. And we'll comment this. Remove the structure from the enemy held structures. This is important because when the town gets captured, one of the criteria is going to be there's no more enemy held structures. So this needs to be 0, essentially, the count of it. Then we're going to add the structure entry to the friendly held structures. Alright, and then we need to do a check here too, just for the sake of efficiency. Under infantry orders, we'll do a check for the enemy retaking structures too. Because I want to have it be, once you lose a structure, I want you to be able to take it back as well. I think that's okay for now. I was trying to think from a gameplay standpoint. I think, yeah, that makes sense that there may be some push and pull. So, once we do that, let's check for friendly structures being retaken by enemy forces too. We'll do that way at the end. And this will probably need to be changed, actually, just realized, because this is only working for the assaulting groups. And so we actually need to change this. Because I just realized what I was doing doesn't take into account the players. So I'm going to change this code up actually quite a bit. So we need to check each enemy held structure. We need to check. Oh man, what if I need to do this? Well, anyway. Yeah, that's gonna be a little different. Oh shoot, that's okay. I don't like using for eaches a lot, but I don't know how else I'd quickly iterate through this. Yeah, so we'll see. I've watched videos about Reforger, so it's cool to see a lot of really nice features in there. I'm curious to see how Reforger actually does on its own in 4 months' time. I'm very curious to see that. I have a question. Victor says, I have a question. Under what conditions is it planned for AI to enter buildings? That is still a work in progress, Victor. I am not sure. The first line iteration of the code is just going to be them going near a building. It's going to check to see if it's cleared. If it's not cleared, then I might do a check where they push into the building and try to clear it. The real honest question is going to be they will only ever go into a building if there's a player nearby. If there's not a player nearby, it's going to be dice rolls and then virtualized. So it's just going to fake them clearing it. Because if there's no one there to watch it, why simulate it? Or I could simulate it more efficiently than having to work with the shitty AI. So, but it's probably going to be in the very beginning if there's no one there, or sorry, if there's any AI there they can't get to or kill from outside, they're going to go in and try to clear it. And that's going to be part of this code here. So this is definitely going to be, yeah, it's going to be definitely tricky. Yeah. I'm not even sure this is going to work yet. We're going to have to really find out. So I'm going to actually do a debug here. Okay. Select side X is equal to enemy side. If there are no enemy units, we consider the building captured. Okay. Leon, hello. Trisha, hi. Alright, so we have no enemy units. Structures, okay. Yeah, so each building gets a quick count around it. If there's any nearby enemy units, if not, then it flips over to us. Okay. What we're going to need to always return, I believe, is going to need to be the enemy held structures and the friendly held structures. And this code here is going to be the same. I'll need to do a check where it doesn't just check for nearby enemy units, but it needs to do a check for nearby friendly units as well. It's just kind of lame, but you can't just capture an area with no enemy units next to it. Victor says, makes sense. Playing games like Squad made me realize that pinnacle of intelligent human behavior is entering buildings and interest area or between them, staying for them for arbitrary time and then pick. Next random building, stay in them. Oh. This is kind of stay, yeah, and then leave at the random times. Yeah. Yeah. That's why sometimes when people talk about making the AI like super smart in, like, say ArmA or ArmA 4, I'm actually not interested in making them robotic Terminators where they just never make mistakes, or some of their decisions are always super accurate, because in combat it's not, it's chaotic, it's messy, it's not this perfect executed thing all the time. I want to have AI like that most of the time, you know, a good chunk of the time, make it look like they're making smart decisions, but in the heat of the battle, you know, that's not how it works. Okay, so as long as there's no enemy units and the friendly units is greater than 1, then we can take the structure. And this code is roughly going to be the same. So this is if count enemy units is greater than 1, or so greater than 0. This should be greater than 0 here. And the count of nearby friendly units is less than 1. Then we reverse this. And we should need to check to make sure it's not already in that array too. So. Index data. If not, index data in let me do this. Okay, this prevents us from just constantly adding it back into the list. Make sure that the index is not already in the appropriate list before trying to add it again. Same from up here. It's just preventing a big bug. Structures, friendly hull structures here. Okay. So that is going to essentially tell the AI to move around. Once they get within a certain distance, then it checks. So we'll just check that here in a minute, but we got to at least return this. So then we return that call, and that always tells us the enemy held structures list and the friendly held structures list gets changed. Like that. And then we return that. We put this here last, so it returns it back to the FSM, and that changes our information that we have access to here. Alright. Let's see. Victor says, human players are mostly unpredictable, thanks to their loose and even unquestionable execution of very arbitrary plans that they either throw out easily or hold on to and doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's true. It's like herding cats, just like real life, herding cats. Okay, so here's an issue now we have to figure out. We have all this code set up where now structures can go back and forth between areas, which is great, but I mean, how is a player going to see that happening? So we need to interact with the mouse. So this is, we got to pass this information to the map somehow. Okay. First, I'm going to add some debugging things in here. So what do we use here? We use the spawn assault squad. So we're going to take the spawn assault squad. I think I have debug in here. Oh, I don't. I thought I did. I have it in the retreat groups. So let's retreat. Oh, I thought I did. Debug tag. Okay. Where did I put that? I know there's some in here. Haha, here we are. to in the assigned targets. It's part of stage 3, which is the assaulting. Captures, let's see. Do friendly captured. Then we'll do enemy captured. 2. This will be spat out to the debug console for me to be able to read. Okay. But now we need to still find a way to pass this information off. There's a lot of ways to do that. I'm just trying to think the best way to pass this, because what we need to do is when the player highlights it over a map, we do a check. Let's do set marker. Unit markers created. Set marker alpha. Maybe it's just set marker alpha. Here, the building markers here. So we pull the building markers, we do a check if is our target a town. Next one, get variable garrison to true. Oh, if it's set to be garrison, then that means, oh, maybe I already thought about this ahead of time. So if it's a town that we're targeting, and it's not, and the building variable is not garrisoned, or is our town set color green. Okay, it looks like I already did this ahead of time. Wow. Look at me thinking ahead. I think this will work then, or we'll do it this way. This isn't the way I think I would do it now, but I've already set up the structure for it, the foundation for it, so I'll do that now. So underneath the assigned targets, so it's green. So if it's false, then it flips to green. If it's else, x like 01, set marker, color local, color red. Okay, so if it's garrisoned, then it goes red. Okay, so we need to set it to false if they get taken. I think that's, wow, okay. That just needs to be public data. Victor says, I'm just saying the AI doing some things at random or under arbitrary conditions is better than I will not check this building. AI never takes it. Yeah, I can't come here, so I'm safe within reason. Yeah, you know, yeah, that's exactly right. You don't want the player to always feel safe. The AI should be just as capable as going into a building, and that's one thing I really hope. I'm excited to see changes in ArmA 4. But when ArmA 4 comes out, that's the first thing I'm going to do is create a whole big video about testing the AI. It's the vanilla AI and making notes of where I'd like to see improvements and things like that. Cheesing Skynet, yeah. Wide range of behavior is better than cheesing Skynet. I would agree. I would 100% agree. Okay, so if the enemy captures it, we reset it to being garrisoned. If we capture it, we set it to being garrisoned as false, because we now have ungarrisoned it. And this needs to be broadcasted out. And I think because this won't be broadcasting out too frequently, it should be okay. And that should change it. We're going to test that though. Alright, so we have a basic loop in now where the AI should be given orders, hopefully to move. And they're going to be given orders as soon as their waypoint is completed, they get a new one. To go to the next closest building. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Let's see what happens. Now the defense is not going to be that stiff. Like there's not going to be any garrisoned AI in a lot of structures. That's okay. We just really want to make sure that this works. Today I'm looking to code maybe for about 1 to 2 hours. I'll probably do some more off camera. But I've been playing this game called V Rising past couple days. It's a little addicting. I'm interested to see in the long-term longevity of the game, but it is pretty addicting or short-term. I'll tell you that. All right, so we have blue 4 up here, and we're gonna go ahead and get them executing. I'm going to speed up this assault. And right now, what we're doing is giving the AI everything in the beginning. I'm cheating, essentially giving the AI every building possible, all the amount of money they need. I'm not caring about cash at all right now. We're pretending that the AI have all artillery, all aircraft, everything at their disposal. Because then what I can do is go back and strip some of that away to create the game progression. So they'd start with just infantry, then they maybe get light vehicles, then they get tanks. But if I make it so everything works well together, then it's easy for me to take things away. I almost work backwards, if that makes sense, than it is to just start really small and add it in. So then this is squad going to go over here. I'm just going to speed things up by teleporting AI. This is something that I'm going to be working with a lot, is making the AI do things appropriately. They're going to their staging ground. Again, I'm going to cheat and speed that up. I'm even going to speed up the UAV getting there. Oops, did I just kill it? I did not. Good. Going to put the AI way up high in the air like it wants to be. So the scouting team is getting set up. We'll even... Oh, do I even have that? I do have that on the screen still. Okay. Yeah, you can see that thing pop up on the screen here. I can kind of point to in the stream. I don't see that on my screen, but I usually in my stream to see it. Let me make it bigger for me. Okay. So the scouting team is now scouting. Perfect. So they're gonna go try to find a spot. We have a lot of AI over here. Okay, they are spawning assault units now. The scouting team has found a good position. So deploying basic infantry. And then right now, like I said, the defenders, there's not much logic behind the defenders or much uniqueness to them at all right now. So they're just going to spawn the squad. You can take a look at the buildings. Yeah, these are all marked as red now because we know these ones are hostile. Everything should be marked as red unless we own the town, which they are marked as green. And so I need to work on this UI a little bit because it kind of gets in the way. I want to make this more invisible, I think. Kind of would be nice actually just to have it always. You know what would be probably a better idea is that if it see how it changes its location on the screen. I wonder if I should just make it where it always pops down at the bottom of the screen. at the bottom left. Like you always know where it's going to be, but it's always going to be in the bottom left corner. Does this get in the way of it? It hides it. That's probably the best idea, actually. Because it's kind of irritating when I do this, and it pops up right in the middle. Like, I mean, yeah, I think that's the best. I should probably do that. Anyway. Oh, I need to open that up. My to-do list here. It's been long since I've streamed, huh? Okay, let's have map information pop up on bottom left, bottom middle maybe, of screen instead of always near the mouse. That might work. Okay, are there smaller structures in this array that I should get rid of? Like, should really this little hut here, should this really be considered a location? Probably not. How the AI going there? Well, the AI are getting to where they're supposed to be. I might knock a couple things off of my list. So we'll take this time, we'll go to map setup, and then here I define what goes in the buildings array. And all I do right now is check if the building is enterable. Again, here's a good example. I need to use a function. So right now I'm using this. This is building enterable command. And I'm going to actually do this where I want at least a minimum of 4 positions inside the building for it to be considered a building. So we're going to find... Okay. We're going to take this and replace it with that. Boom. Easy fix. That's gonna work, so I think that's a good place. Complete AI squad spawning, attacking, retreating the objective. Actually, I think we're almost done with that. Improve defensive AI squad spawns. Waypoint completion radius increased for retreating forces. Yep, it's done. Have map information pop up. Okay, wonderful. All right, you guys make it yet? Oh, they made it. Okay. So now they're going to be trying to totally get on in. I'm going to help speed up these slow dudes here. Okay. Go, go, go. Okay, they're in. You can do it. Oh, come on, you're fine. Keep going. Let's go straight. No. See, this is what I hope they fix in ArmA 4. He made it worse. But he got it. Okay. That's where I'm going to need to make a custom script that will force AI to get moved if a player is not nearby. Essentially, if a player is nearby AI forces, it's going to be a nerf. Because they have to deal with ArmA's AI. See, look at this. Why did he just ram into that? There's a road right here. Why is he running into that? Oh, he just felt the need to do that. We'll never know. We'll never know if I felt the need to ram that wall. What it will do is going to speed this up. Okay. So here they are, so they're going to get to their positions, and then with no magical effects or anything, buildings are just going to pop into existence. Like that. And there's the forward operating base setup now. All these buildings are just work in progress right now. These can always be changed. Right now, just pick the radar, some tents and some generators that spawn nearby. We have a static line of defense here. here. The mortars are firing already. Where are the mortars? Oh, they're here. They should probably be spawned a little bit further out, shouldn't they? So these are already going to start firing. At whatever. Let me pull open my... There it is. Artillery. Here come the strikes. Okay, they disabled static weapons. What are 2 rounds get fired? Right now, the mortar fire is really accurate. Again, this is all going to be tweaked. Actually, you know, they do have a UAV spotting it directly, but I'll add some slight variation. If the UAV is up, it's a lot more accurate. Oh, that knocked out all 4 mortars. Ooh, the big guys are firing now. Okay, that knocked out all the mortars. Why aren't these firing dead? I'm gonna show I have the AI and ArmA. Oh! Well, now they're all dead. Okay, well, artillery hit back here. Okay, so now we have the assault group spawning in. What we need to see is if they start getting waypoints. And I'm not seeing any waypoints get generated. Yeah, I'm not seeing any waypoints get generated. So this is this here. So it goes. Oh, this just runs all the time. Was that the, oh, well, this is not, this is, FSM is just not set up correctly. Oh, I can't believe I didn't catch this. There was an old, Victor says, there was an old Ukrainian or Russian game when you have poor relations with civilians, random pedestrians will throw grenades under your feet at times, but what? I do want to put civilians in here. Definitely. So I think what's happening with these AI is that this is timing out, it's running in this loop, it comes back here, and this conditions is true, says always executes. This is always just executing, and that's not good. We need a condition for this. Like the spawn groups will only go if the group spawn limits a certain amount. Retreat groups should only go if... Okay. I don't know why I thought that would work. You're going to take a look. We actually need to do some checks here. Groups should retreat. So we'll do a check here. See, this is a better way I can do this. If a live count if there's one group that's below a certain threshold, we want this to turn to true. This will execute, and then if that's true, then this will run. This is the condition. Infantry orders. Every one of these need a condition. So Um, yeah, no, that would be kind of a fun thing to add in. Unfortunately, this is an issue with FSM, so I have to restart the mission. That's really unfortunate. I'm also having issues with these static weapons not engaging targets. Like, if I put this guy here, he's got clear line of sight. I have no clue why he's not engaging. I honestly don't know. So if I kill the rifleman, and then put a new aim on there to really do it, so why does he not shoot? This is an issue I'm going to fix later. This is all vanilla AI. I have no clue. Why is he not shooting? That's something I do with spawning in it. I'm sure it's something I'm doing, but like little issues like this get really interesting. Like if I just spawn a 50 in. Okay, so it must be somewhere that they're being spawned in. That's not great. I'm using the crate vehicle command, or crate vehicle group or something command in it, and sometimes the group is probably screwed up. Like Pod says too, will there be an update? Give me a number. I don't understand English very well. An update for Dissension? They do have ammo. They haven't fired yet. Well, they're all dead up here because they weren't firing, but yeah. Something to do with something strange. Are these groups fighting at least? Yeah. It's the scout group. Anyway, that's definitely a bug that needs to be addressed. Nike Pod 2, yes. Ooh, there will be an update to whatever it is you're asking. I have decided that I will keep working on ArmA 3 because ArmA 4 is still, I would venture, in its complete state 3 years out. So it's got some time. Gustav asks, is this happening in Ukraine right now? I will avoid that topic for right now on stream. Or set combat mode. Let's take a look. Let me add it to the bug list. Let me disable. Hold on. There goes that log. Let me disable that log for a second, and then let me add this to my to-do list here. Did I close the to-do list? Oh, it's right here. AI on static weapons do not engage targets. Well, let's take a look at how we spawn the static weapons in first. So they get spawned in. Static and mortar spawn here. Let's take this block of code and just break it down. So we pull a static weapons class. This is the weak. Okay. We find a position. I don't even use this. Wait, I don't even use this. Anyway, so the mortars fire. I spawn the static weapons. And then I create the vehicle. I use create vehicle crew. I disable the terrain objects. Okay, mortars need to spawn a little bit further out though. Let's make them spawn at least 15 out. And we'll we'll do 20-meter range. See if that helps. Unless there's a bug with create vehicle crew, I will static AI. I will just pull in. I will manually spawn the AI and see if that fixes it. Careless. I'm not sure where you see careless. Or check to see this in there. Or is that something else? Some of the AI are set to careless when they're retreating. Yeah. But I just use the create vehicle crew, and that's all I ever reference these guys for. I haven't seen that issue before, so I'm kind of confused. Also, if you don't understand the chat, please write when the update. I guess I'm assuming for Dissension. Empty turrets, then spawn them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that, Tyler. I think that makes more sense. Let's try that. Let me get the actual basic infantry. And then we'll actually create the AI. I have to remember. There we go. Make them all part of a group. Static group equals create group side. I'm gonna miss SQF, but I'm glad we're moving to something that's more, you know, industry standard. I know it's gonna be a while, but still. Select random AI. AI equals blah. To static. To static, move in gunner. No, we'll just do this. Any vehicle. That should fix it. That should fix any issue. Well, Tyler says, well, if people use lambs or VCOM, the AI wouldn't man the empty turrets anyway, right? Yeah. This Dissension's gonna be built around VCOM, because I'm gonna update VCOM with it alongside. Just as one last hurrah before I stop updating it anymore. For the most part. The Craver's playable. There is no long-term plan. There is no sustainability. There's no choice but consume you as well. Seth, Endless Space 2 review. That's right. I like that guy. Yeah. Okay. So I should fix that. Now we gotta look at going back to this now. We added a variable in to check when groups to retreat, so it always just does a check to see if any of the groups are less than 5 people right now. Then it'll toggle this retreat variable, which will toggle this, and then it always goes around and resets it every time. Okay. Now for infantry orders. I do want this one running all the time, but it does need a variable, so it's not taking up every sense of space. So we'll do a very similar structure. We'll do issue infantry orders equals false, and then we'll do another list of check for maybe what we did for assigning targets. Actually, oh, what's happening here? Whoa. Sorry, my control Z was like just deleting things. I haven't seen that behavior before. Yeah. I think this will be the more effective way, because this exit with stops the loop just in case. For assigning orders, then we want to do a check that goes this here. And then if leader X distance 2D waypoint pause is less than 15, then we want to issue orders. I think that should work. Should work. And then, just for the sake of completeness, ooh, this will be a condition. Okay. We'll also take this, put it here. I can't remember. Do I pull the town name from way back here still? Oh, it's just underscore name. Okay. Tyler says, you seeking to show with full speed. Nick says, I'll have a list of what will be in the new update, what kind of work has been done. I cannot type that out right now, my friend. I do not speak Russian. I wish I knew how to translate that for you in a short, concise way. Tyler says, you seek and destroy with full speed. Yeah, with full speed. When we add a waypoint, set the speed to full. Alright. Set waypoint. I thought it was just speed. This is why, like, for Reforger, you're going to need a list like this too, even though it's C#, but you know, they're going to create an engine way of setting waypoint speed. Oh, it is set waypoint speed. Oh. Set waypoint speed. It's missing from my list. Full. Okay, we'll give that a try. Okay, let's open this back up. Let's do %1 town, %1. And then we want to return all sorts of variables, like group should retreat and issue infantry orders. Now let's try this. If retreating in full speed in combat mode careless. Yes, so if they're retreating full speed in combat mode careless. Yeah, so when they go retreating, they don't care, they're just trying to get out. Kill this. Same place, great. Start this. Tyler, have you, or has anyone played Reforger with a big group? I'm really curious to hear other people's. No, I can't speak Russian, but I can use a translator. That's about all I'm gonna get. Yeah, I will try to do my best. Let's just say. I'm gonna try to spell out a few sentences here. I think Tyler has got it. I don't think you're feeling it. Let's see. Smarter AI. I mean, it's gonna really have smarter AI. It's going to have just rework. And I think this is the best I can really say. It's gonna be a smarter AI, more open to explore. And then we had a funeral. ArmA never changes. ArmA always. Yeah, well, I was watching some videos of like vehicles going flying and the physics being really janky, and I was like, I mean, it's still a Bohemia game. It's still made by the same company, you can tell. Every game has vehicles and stuff. The physics are always janky, and they take so much tweaking to get it just right. So. Okay, they're happy there. Oh. Victor can help translate. Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't know. I know some German. That's kind of the opposite of what. And I'm hoping, yeah, Victor's got it pretty well said. Well, I'm doing the hardest part right now. Once this attacking is done, and this giant brain for the AI commander is done, the rest can get up pretty quickly and into a playable state. So, but right now I'm doing the hardest part, which is making a FSM system. Like, this is the hardest part. And then I have to go back and finish some of these parts up here. But once this part up here gets done, then the rest of the game is pretty... It's going to be a lot of tweaking and testing and play testing and the like. I'm going to have to get, I'm going to stop streaming fairly soon to get some food and during the summer, so for anyone who cares, I'm going to have more time off in the summertime. So I plan on actually using that to do more coding like I did last summer. And we have about We have about an extra. I have about an extra week or 2 weeks before I really. Kind of 2 weeks before I can start taking that time off. So I do plan on, at least throughout the weekend, most weeks, sitting down and doing more coding for Dissension because it's something I really want to finish. Tyler says no, but what counts as having the right company playing with. Otherwise, it's Troll City. Oh, it's a Troll City. Game visually is gorgeous. Yeah, I was looking at some videos. I think it looked fairly good. Yeah, I would love to help. I'll be on the, but I'll be on the enemy team. That would be good. Thank you, Victor, for doing that. It's very nice of you. Honestly, I think I'm. So right now I'm doing the blue floor because I'm just working on blue floor right now. But blue floor and op 4 AI are going to be roughly the same, and then resistance AI is going to be a whole different thing. So that it's going to be much more simple. But players will be able to play as resistance, and the resistance commander is going to start off really simple. Essentially, not really like a commander. It's just going to be you can join resistance if you just want to get shot up a lot, I guess. I don't know. It'll be more like Anastasia, I guess. Okay, so are the vehicles en route? They are en route. This vehicle just stopped there for some reason. Must have done something. Mess that up. There. I'm going to speed this up. Boom. Oh! The vehicle blew up and killed somebody. Oh, I Zeused it. Oh man, I Zeused it. I killed so many people. It's fine. I think it's okay. Oh, there go the mortars. Oh, there they go. Now these things are firing. The mortars are firing. Oh, we need to bring up the little log here. Mortars hit that. They launched a few rounds. I'm not sure where they all went. Oh, they're popping some smoke too. Okay. Advanced artillery now is going to fire. Here they are. So this is them softening up the targets, and they will have access to these further as we go on too. So they, before anyone attacks, they're going to use these to soften up targets. To try to target static weapon points. So this has been marked with smoke. This should be the priority target. Let's see what they... Any of these static weapons are going to be priority targets. Okay, so retreating. Oh, we got an error. Damn. Type pool. Broke something in here. Oh, they're just hitting smoke. Make them smart with that. Why, if alive, count units X less than 5. Yeah, this is a pool, am I? Huh? Do I need to put this in brackets? If the number of alive units in the group is less than 5, exit with true. Why is that throwing an error? Okay, so for the sake of testing, I am going to create a cheat that allows me to skip all the setup phase and go straight to this phase here. So let's do that, because I'm getting tired of waiting this whole time and teleporting shit. So let's do that. Let's do just a true condition cheat code with a priority of 10 million. Problem is that some of these things need to be defined. So we're just going to go straight from there to here. And this is going to go straight to there. And then we need to define some variables in here I think are just required. Where do I define the staging area and everything? That's earlier. I think that's all I need. Add action. This is saying an add action. Add action for like, oh, make it so I could just kind of skip the, yeah. I should make that a variable, you're right. I'm gonna worry about that later. I think that's what you mean. I think this is okay. I think that's okay. We're gonna see. Let's go test it out. That way I don't have to worry about setting up anything. I have to help the scout squad get in there and position is kind of important, but that's easier to do. I'm getting hungry. Alright. Let's speed this along. Where are we at? New spot? New gross. This spot sucks. Let's see. This way it'll help me speed up development because I don't want to keep, you know, teleporting people every time. Like 4 groups every time. 1 group is fine. So we're going to attack Polina. Scout team's already moving to position. You need a good break tell it because you gotta get in a spot when ArmA 4 comes out in however many years where you can take like a, you know, full, you know, 6 months off of life. So you can just do nothing but that. So I don't think that's unreasonable. I'm just kidding. Then you can catch back up. Honestly, yeah, designing missions is fun, but designing missions sometimes are a lot just as difficult, if not more stressful at times than designing a game mode, because there's so many niche cases. Like in a mission, I might want to have this play or this, that, and your presentation matters a lot more, and for a lot of stuff, you know, that I'm working on, it's stressful, man. Especially if you don't have a group, and then managing the group on top of that is a lot. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh, did I break them with teleporting the scouting team? There we go. Alright. Okay, the fob just spawned directly. Not in great spots. But that's okay. Yeah, there was an error message. We need the safe move to pause advance needs to be in there. Yeah, that is an issue. Damn. not starting to think straight because I'm hungry. Boop, 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 boop. I think we'll go for a few more minutes here. He said, yeah, most of the time it's thinking the best way to do something specific in ways around. That's so true. And the funny thing is, you won't have to do that as much as in a Reforger, but you're going to have to know more. We'll see what they do for ArmA 4, though. I guess in ArmA 4 they're going to make a lot. Hopefully they bring back the Eden editor, which I think they, like you said, they want to, and I think they need to, because ArmA is all about. If they don't have an Eden editor like this to simply make easy missions for people, then it's not going to do well, because relying on mod makers to make missions only is very silly. That would really hurt a lot of a lot of things. Alright, so we got to figure out there's this variable that is needed. And it's this advanced move position. Advanced initial frontline setup. Safe, yeah, right here. This is needed. So let's open up the FSM and figure out where I define this. Oops, because I don't remember. Let's do it equals. I define it underneath level 1 statics. So it gets defined here. Or does it? I'll see it. Let's do another check. I'm like really focused on this now. What happened? It says level 1 statics link equals blah blah blah. Safe move to pause. Tell units to move to staging area and dig in. Oh, this one up here probably. Wait, what? Look at me copying everything, using the same name for everything. Ain't that just the silliest thing to do? Mookie Man, we need a VCOM update, please. Mookie Man comes in. Author, tell me if it's realistic to make a bot in ArmA to land a helicopter on the roof of a building. Write the answer. Yes. Let's see. I will try to write that for you. Hold on. Script. Flight path. Yes, it is possible. Oh, or you could do that too. That's probably the easier way to do it. You should listen to Tyler for those things. I use code stuff. So Boogeyman, yes, there will be an update to VCOM alongside this. I'm going to be doing a total of technically 3 more projects, and then I'm done with ArmA 3 coding. Up until ArmA 4 comes out. I don't understand where this... I feel like I'm... Where is this? Am I just... being dumb? Like, where the fuck? So it's defined... and... at staging area, oh... at staging area, so here... Okay... gates. Yes, okay. That should do it now. Let's do one more test. No, don't reload it. No, don't save it. I don't understand this error though. If oh, no one saw that. No one saw that, right? Okay, good. No one. Nothing happened. Nothing. Oh my god, no, no, that's no. Yeah, no, that's. No one saw that error. Everything is good. Good, 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 good. Yep. It's totally weird how that error happened. No clue. No clue. What is this error now? I just put this code randomly here. It's fine. I can change that in the game. Assign targets. Recompile that. Okay, all good. Okay. I forgot to put an if before a condition check, so it just was random code floating around. There was no if statement at all. I also want to have drones be a really big part of Dissension. Kind of inspired by Ukraine. I want lots of drones and anti-air to be really important. I want drones to be used pretty heavily in the mission for support tasks for players, calling in drone support, all drone strikes, all those things. Alright, so we'll speed up the scout team. I'm sure there's a way I can speed this up too. Then they're gonna just get teleported in. It's weird ArmA 3 music right now. What is this? Let's try this one. Alright. Wait, who am I waiting on? Oh, no one. Yeah, it just doesn't want to move. Wait. Still thinks there's an AI that needs to be teleported in. Oh, there is. Where is he? What? Oh, he's stuck here. Well, I might break it. Let's see what happens. He's supposed to be getting in here, maybe? It'll time out eventually. Yeah, it timed out. Okay. Alright. Gotta bring up the log again. Okay. There we go, they deployed some of the tents. So static weapons should be spawning in, which they did. Wonderful. Orders spawned inside of this and blew themselves up. So need to fix that. This one's fine though. Oh god. Fired one round of something. I have no clue. Well, they're aware. They heard those fire. Against artillery calls well. So these... Looks like they already fired. Oh, no, they're firing now. And after this, we should get the infantry spawning. And I think they're shooting smoke a little too much. Victor says, I think he made more of a layman question, so we rephrase. Is there a possibility for a reliable, dynamic, and scalable, and quickly deployable solution for AI landing on top of buildings jumping off? No. No, there's not. And I thought it being very... Oh, jeez. I thought it being very scripted. Thank you, Victor, for translating, helping to translate. But no, not without it being very scripted. To my knowledge. I haven't looked, though, recently, so... Okay, so it looks like the order's false is not working, so there with me. I'm gonna teleport in there and try to debug some of this myself here. Because since this order is false. Oh. Crap. Oh man, I have so many issues. Man, I'm not thinking straight today. I'm just tired. We do need to have at the very end, or this will, if nothing on these orders are true, it just needs to loop. I can trick it by, I think, by killing off part of this group. Will that force it to go? No, because it's not going to recalculate. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. All these are mistakes I should not be making. Is there a way to make AI walk to the exact part of a building? There are specific points you can put AI to, but not any point. There's building positions that is set up in the building, but the AI cannot freely walk inside of a building like the way you think. But I have other things I need to do around the house here soon, so I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'm gonna actually have to go, because I got other things in work I have to do. I'm so close. Did I already execute that? Code, did I already? Composition. This is not a good spot to attack from. It's a big town though. Alright, let me help this team. Did he spawn in a tree? He actually spawned on close to the road. Nice. Oh, does that kill him? Okay. So teleport that guy back there. Blow him up. Get them there. They're still scouting. Okay, they like that spot. They're gonna spawn a fob now. This needs to be fixed. There's like no good position, so it just defaults to this spot. Oh no, the mortars are gonna get killed again. Goodbye, mortars. Static weapons spawn. This needs to be fixed. I won't be able to save them, I don't think. Oh, I can. I'll save you, mortars. From you blowing yourself up. There you go. Look at this lovely base. Yeah, if they're gonna have to figure out why my function is not working, well, yeah, I think you're right, Tyler. I need to check. And these guys are. This guy's in the ground. Nice. This is one thing I hope they really fixed in ArmA 4. No reason for that guy to be in the ground. It's fine. Okay, advanced artillery call. So these call artillery. They didn't fire anything because the UAV wasn't in position yet. I sped everything up so much that the UAV wasn't even close. So they had nothing to fire at. Just fine. Just move the other thing. So this says advanced artillery calls the last order. But they don't need to fire for it to work. There it goes. So we should be seeing this retreat, false, orders false, repeat over and over again, every 5 seconds. Yep, there we go. So it still isn't working like I would hope. Is like their waypoint just not? Okay. Holy shit. We did get an error message and assigned targets line 86. Nearby units. Wait, what? Oh, I need to return a count. This is something we can fix in script, so that's nice. I don't have to restart. Alright, yeah, Tyler. Take it easy, man. Thanks for hopping in, I appreciate it. Type object expected array. Oh. Oh, this is the array here. All units select 96. How's this not an array? Am I using this command wrong? Use. Oh, this is the center. Oh my goodness. Okay, good thing we can fix this. Set targets. Well, they got a waypoint though. Wow. There we go. Okay. So they're both. There we go. Now we got some movement. Scout team right now doesn't do much. Just sit behind and keep reporting intel. This kind of spawning here needs to be fixed. These squads are moving up. They're both kind of targeting the same thing. That's fine. Right now, the first hurdle they have to cross is going to be this 50 cal weapon if they actually fight it. I teleported this group, so this guy's like stuck now. Let's move him. And let's go ahead and get this squad pushed up here as well. Curious to see how much damage this one static weapon can do. Okay, they spotted him at least. Static weapon. Well, I guess that's one way to deal with him. He just got tubed immediately.
Cover me! On the move! Cover me!
Okay, so then they need to come clear of this building. If you look at it on the map, wait, what building are they targeting? They're targeting Yeah, they are targeting that building with the infantry in it. So this building needs to turn green. So let's see what happens. And we're gonna simulate them being killed once we get closer. Okay. Taylor says, oh, some questions here that I missed. I have a question. If the AI is on the building and not on one of the positions, how likely is it to get stuck? The AI won't get stuck. I was right. The AI won't get stuck. They can walk in buildings and walk out. Just the waypoint will be needed to specify a building position, if them to shoot from a window, etc. Will it phase through? Um, yes, AI will sometimes phase through building positions depending on what building is configured.
100 meters. Front.
Oh, these guys are dead. Oh.
Go. I'm covering. Go.
Well, now we have some retreating groups, you can see. And then we should have another group that's going to be moving in. And I see what I need to do is give them a waypoint, like on top of them essentially. And then they'll go. That group tried to retreat, but just instantly got blown up. So it looks like there is a bug. If the group gets completely killed,
Right overhead. I'm covering. Go.
we still need to run a retreat. Assess retreat. Okay, we found a bug, which is fine. This is a small bug. If and count retreating groups is greater than 1. We want to exit with that. And we're actually going to want to swap these like that. Like that. We're going to have to really do a lot of finagling with this because if this is true, then this always overrides, and we should have a cooldown as well. So we would have things like retreat cooldown equals time. We'll do -1000. I don't know. So what you do is then you go, they can only run this code if time is greater than retreat cooldown now. And then every time the code gets executed, we do retreat cooldown equals time plus every 15 seconds or something they can check. That way it doesn't override everything else. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that they kill all these AI. So there's no more enemy AI. And hey, look, all these buildings turn green. All right. Oh, okay, we're getting there. Good. Good. How many times does this check? Does issue infantry orders? Because this checks every time. The problem with this is that this just needs to run every so often. So we need to also add in the cooldown in here and just force it to run every so often because of the issues, yeah. Of like player involvement. Let's do orders check. Let's -1000. Or time is greater than order check. So this should be checked like every 5 seconds, I'd argue. Every 10. We want to reduce the cooldown as well. Okay, that's good. There we go. So these will just check every so often by themselves. Let's look at the loop. These loops are kind of tricky to get working just right, but yeah, we can see that they're actually capturing more territory. Now are they kind of generating more and more waypoints? Which is exactly what I need them to do. There, yeah, and they just captured that one. So I want to see what happens when I have a waypoint. Where is this waypoint? Is this this group? I keep getting new waypoints, but I can't tell where's the. Oh, it's right here.
Move up!
Okay. They've already captured it. So they're here. Almost seems like I'm gonna delete that. Give them a order here. This is like being counted as like this didn't get transferred over to the held territory properly. Like the rest did. Yeah, look at that. They're still going. Okay. So that means that the infantry orders, the enemy held structures and friendly held structures aren't updating appropriately. Says retreat. So retreat orders. Yeah, they should be updating it. Unless it's just a pure waypoint problem. Let me see. Yeah, because they look for just enemy structures, which is coming from the enemy held structure as variable. So that's not being changed. And also, well, it says friendly captured 5, enemy captured 38. Did that ever change? Is it actually subtracting them? No, it's not. So it is adding them to the, okay. So it is adding them to the friendly captured array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same friendly captured 5, enemy captured 38. And these are being considered. This might have to be for later, but This is already an array. Let's go to 0. And count. My friend is less than 1. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this definitely. This is executing correctly as the way it should. So therefore these arrays should also be updating with something wrong with these. I'm definitely gonna have to tweak that and debug that. That should be doable, but we're almost there. Once I can get this working properly, then yeah, pushing up retaking positions and making the towns feel really nice and slick. Alright, sorry I was distracted for a while there. Yeah, it's a manually placed position. So you guys, how does AI navigate in buildings? Is it from manually placed position to manually placed position? Victor, that is correct. Yeah, there is a position system. AI cannot just go from one building to the next very easily, unfortunately. They can fake it sometimes. But I'm sorry guys, I am hungry. I need to get some food. We've been streaming for about 2 hours, which is what I was trying to hit. I'll get some food. I have some things I need to take care of. We're getting so much closer. Once I get the AI actually capturing buildings and towns by themselves, we are very close to being able to speed ahead and speed up the coding process. I need to get in, tank support and vehicle support, artillery calls, and all that done, but that should be a relatively quick process comparatively to everything else I've done. So, all right, everyone, thank you. I appreciate your time. I will see you all next time. YouTube is asshole. Anyone know how to aim down sights for Xbox? The middle button. I have no clue. Thank you, Victor, but I'll tell NickPod I can't offer that support right now. That's going to require more coding than you can easily do in the editor. I would advise him to, go. There's a lot of helpful things for ArmA 3 tutorials, so you can Google that. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to help with that right now. But thank you. I will see you all later. We're going to stop the stream now. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.